Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast. Today, I want to talk all about systems. And I know many of you may have plenty of systems in play in your practice, and I applaud that. It's what will make your life a bit easier. But a system is really just a framework, a method for getting things done. Some people can say it's a set of procedures that produces the method for how to get things done, but a system is really important for a number of things. Number one, it creates some sanity for you as the leader of your organization. It creates predictability, not only for you, but also for your team and also for your patients. And it also makes it easier for you to be creative and do things in a different way, in your own way. You just set up the system based on what the outcome is that you desire. And oftentimes when I meet with a practice and we do like a bariatric business breakthrough sort of a session, it's usually a breakdown in one of the systems in their practice, or one that just hasn't been set up, or one that's maybe outdated. So I have been doing a deep dive in the Bariatric Business Boss membership, and I wanted to share with you the 7 systems that I have been going through with them. And these are all ones that are important for just making sure that things are running smoothly. And I know I'm here in the trenches just like you are, and this is a game changer. It takes things that are chaotic and makes it smooth running. It eliminates that chaos in your practice. It actually improves your patient outcomes. It improves your patient satisfaction. It improves your team satisfaction. It allows you to be more flexible with your schedule because you know things are running very smoothly while you are away. And I know for me, I've been doing so much more with Weight Loss Practice Builder, but I've got a great team and set of systems that we've built over the years. And I can always tell when a little breakdown's occurring, and I don't just go in and dictate how that's corrected. We identify what the frustration is, and then we go back and work on that. So I'm going to dive into just an overview of these 7 systems, and I want you to think about how they're at play in your practice. And then we'll talk a little bit about how you can manage things when you're having a frustrating moment related to one of these systems. And if you think about it as something that you can relate to, we all have systems at home or in our own lives that make our life a little bit easier, whether it's a system for how you get your trash out every week, whether it's a system for, I know for me, I have a system in the morning to get my workout in, and if part of it's not there, I can come up with a reason why I'm not going to do it. So if my clothes aren't sitting out, if I don't know exactly which workout I'm going to be doing the next day, if I don't have all of that set up with my water and everything kind of ready to go, I can kind of talk myself out of it if my alarm isn't set. And so I have that system in place. And another way that you can look at this, I know I have 4 kids and they've been here during the time of this recording. We're having our pandemic. So they've all been home, which has been wonderful, but we've had them gradually going back to where it is that they need to go. So the first one was my son, who's going back to Virginia Tech, back to his apartment. So we have this system. We have this staging area in our house where as you're getting ready to move back there, you put all your stuff so that you can kind of keep it in one place. You can think about if you're missing something, it's all there. And then when it comes time to put it all into the vehicle or vehicles, we go ahead and it's all right there. We just move it out there. So he was the first. Next was my daughter, who was moving to Denver. So hers, we had everything kind of staged, and it went out tomorrow. We're taking my daughter to UVA. So all of her things are in the staging area, and we're getting ready to take care of that. And then my son bought a house and he's moving. So for him, we have a lot of items which currently are stored in the garage, but they're all going to go to the staging area, and then they're all going to be moved at the time that it's most appropriate. But that's sort of our process. It just makes it saner for us. And it doesn't take the fun out of it because there's structure there. It actually just makes it more calm. So that chaos becomes more calm. So those are just a couple of examples. I'm sure you have many of your own, whether it's your routine in the morning, whether it's your routine with your kids or your pets, your spouse, whatever you are doing, or your parents, depending on what's going on in your life. But having those systems in place really takes that chaos and makes it calmer so that you can actually think straight and you can actually focus on if there's something that's awry, you can actually dive into that quicker and take care of the problem before it becomes worse. So For any bariatric practice, whether it's a surgical practice, a medical practice, or a combination of both, there are systems that are at play. And the first one is one of your most important ones, and that is your team. And this involves what is your system for hiring, for onboarding, for discipline, for their training, and how they become a part of the team and become an integral part of your sort of family at work. So we have been diving deep into all those different aspects, but having your team and having that system set up is really helpful to make sure that they are clear about their job expectations and that you are clear about your vision, and they can integrate into your practice in a much saner way. Now, I know I've been there where things are just chaotic. Maybe you've had a couple positions turn over, and you've got a lot of changes going on. You're implementing new employees at the same time. You have a new software system coming on, and you've added a new service, and it can just get kind of crazy. But that's a time to take a deep breath and focus, make sure that your team is prepared to move forward with that. So, and you also may need to delegate some things, but your team is the first system that has to be in play and functioning smoothly in order for your practice to function smoothly. The second one that I want to talk about, and this isn't necessarily in a particular order, except for your team, that is really critical, of course. But next would be your marketing. And your marketing, a lot of people, we can make this really difficult for ourselves. Either you try to make it so simple that you just give it to someone else and trust that they're going to do it. And if that's working for you, great. But in most instances, it's not really that effective. So you have to have a hand in that. So setting up a marketing system that involves your team and is fun and is something that's predictable, so you know it's happening every single day. So that involves making sure that your emails are going out properly to your patients, that your social media posts are going up, that your blog is up to date, those sorts of things, that your website is working functionally, and that we even in the training went through like a website sort of a checklist and an audit of their website. So making sure that all those pieces are working together and involving your team in that, making sure that the message that's getting out there is the message that you want shared. You know, in Bariatric Business Boss, I do a social media calendar for all the members every single month, so they don't have to think about it every single month. It has it kind of planned out. It actually have posts created for them, recipes to share, things that they should be doing that they can easily get scheduled and take care of on a regular basis. If you're not a member for some reason, you just want to take a peek at what that calendar's like, message me or email me, Carol, Karol at Weight Loss Practice Builder, and I'll send you one. But anyhow, having a systematized marketing system is really important as well. And in addition to the systematized marketing in terms of what you're sending to your patients, email or text, and also on social media or in print, do a lot less of that nowadays. But having that system in place, in addition to that, if you're in a medical weight loss practice or even surgical, you know there are certain times of the year that you need to do an added push. That's at the beginning of the year, usually before the summer. And then now, I'm recording this in September of 2020. Now is another time where people are starting to really start thinking about themselves as they are moving forward. So there's 3 big pushes in the year. So marketing is the second system. The third one is your finances, because you need to make sure that you know that you're not just making revenue, that you're actually making a profit, so that you can survive and you can grow and you can support what it is that you want to support, from your personal life to your your philanthropic efforts, and also taking care of your employees. So financially, you need to make sure that you have a system in place for your budget, and that you're also tracking that. Certain things I like to track every week, other things monthly, other things quarterly, and then of course annually, rolling all that up. But taking a look at that, and this pandemic has been a great time working with practices and even in our own to rethink how we do just about everything. What expenses we're paying, what our team looks like, how our staffing's arranged, if we need things the way they are now, if there's a better way to be doing that. So your finances is another system that needs to be set up so that you can review it. You don't necessarily need to be doing all of the numbers, and you can use your experts, your accountants, and that sort of thing But you need to be analyzing that and making sure if your finances need to be modified. So that's the next system. The fourth system is your revenue streams. And in a practice, it's great if there are additional revenue streams that don't rely solely on the physician, because that way when you have hiccups, like for example, we weren't able to do surgeries across the U.S., elective surgeries for a number of months, that is a huge deal. And I don't take that lightly. And I know there was suffering for all of us, and we also have patients that need to be taken care of. But having additional revenue streams set up in your practice is really helpful to help keep things moving along. So I like to make sure that you have a percentage of your revenue, or at least a couple revenue streams that are coming in that don't rely solely on the physician. It just helps for longevity. It helps with just a smooth revenue stream and that sort of thing. So, but also looking at those as cost centers, it's really important to look at it as a separate cost center to make sure that what you're bringing in is covering the expenses and showing a profit at the end. Next would be your retail sales, which I know is sort of a part of your revenue stream, but it's a great way for you to augment your revenue and really help your patients, because they tend to have better outcomes. They can lose weight quicker. They have predictability. It's things that they're buying anyhow. So why not provide higher quality things through your practice and help guide that and integrate it into your program? So that's another system. Next would be your referral system. So this is your referrals from referring physicians, referring community groups, your patients, which is a great referral source, one of my favorite. And so yesterday we were doing a training on your referral systems. So you want to make sure that you have that set up so that you have referrals coming in on a regular basis. And then your patient education is the next one. Having a system. I know patients oftentimes don't think they need education, but we all know that they do. So having a system to make that easy for them to digest, whether it's in video, audio, PDF, help you with developing all that in various ways, but that's really important for your patients to make sure that they have that education. So those are actually 7 systems. The first one was your team, then your marketing, your finances, your revenue streams, your retail sales, your referral system, and then also your patient education system. And then as a bonus, I also like to cover your patient flow and your patient satisfaction, kind of taking all those and putting it together in your practice. So those are some of the things that we've been covering in Bariatric Business Boss, but the reason why I mention it here too is that just to make sure that you have systems in place for those. The best way to set that up is not independent. The best way to set that up is with your team. And it may seem daunting, but if I was setting it starting from scratch, or anytime I'm working with someone who's starting from scratch with that, what is your biggest frustration right now? Which system does it relate to? Set that one up first. And then you want to move on to the next one until you have it all moving together. So this system is kind of like a number of cogs in the wheel that are flowing very smoothly. You're always going to have hiccups. You're always going to have to make modifications. You're always going to have to make pivots. But when you know you have something that is systematic, that is functioning well, to make a pivot is actually so much easier. You just look at what's your key frustration, what is not working well, and you go back to what is a system for that and what needs to be changed in it. And it ends up being just an easier way to manage your practice. So, for example, in our practice, if something doesn't seem to be flowing well, we take a pause and we stop as a group, the people who are involved in that system, and we talk about how did this happen and what can we do to fix it? And then we put that into place and we move forward. And you're always going to have to make tweaks, and maybe what you put into place didn't work quite as great as what you thought it was going to work in your brain, but you just kind of go back and modify it. Having your team involved is so critical. They will come up with ideas, and because they're doing a lot of the things every day that you can't, you're taking care of patients or you're taking care of your realm within the practice, but having those people involved is really critical, and it also increases their total involvement, their total buy-in, their total commitment, and it just makes your team sort of gel together much easier. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Take a look at these systems in your practice, and if you need some assistance, reach out to me, Carol, Karol, at weightlosspracticebuilder.com. If you're not a member of Bariatric Business Boss, honestly, we do trainings every single week. They're only 30 minutes. They cover integral information, have added resources right at your fingertips, templates for you to use. And we also have one-on-one calls, monthly marketing calendars for you. We do weekly tip sheets and recipes, things that you can turn around and share with your patients, and it's just a great way to work. You can always reach out to me. Just this morning I had someone say, hey, can we get together today? I've got a couple of ideas I wanted to run by you. I love getting those emails. I love hearing ideas and working through that. So if you are not a member, I encourage you to join bariatricbusinessboss.com. And in the meantime, I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you.